So there's more modes in Evolve than just Hunt, Mary.
I was unaware of that until recently, Chris.
Evacuation Mode. Let's talk about this, because it's actually kind of an amalgamation of all the individual modes you can play. First off, Evacuation. It's 5 matches strung together. 5 people play through the same 5 people. The same 4 people are always the hunters. The same 1 person is always the monster.
Right.
But you can switch match to match. And it strings them together. It's like, hey, we're on the planet Sheer. It's totally borked. All these monsters are going crazy. We need to evacuate the place. And so it starts with Hunt. That's the mode that's been demoed all over the place. It's the mode we've talked about tons of times. But once Hunt concludes, the winner gets a bonus.
That's right. There's a lot of connectivity between these 5 different pieces. It's not like you're just playing one giant hunt. They've made it a little bit of a full campaign, and you could probably find comparisons with Left 4 Dead 2. It's meant to be played over a longer period of time with 5 people, and each of these pieces either give you a bonus or give the opponent a bonus for the next round.
But let's talk about the end of the first round. You get out of the hunt. Let's say the monster wins. They might get like a bunch of eels have now been released into all the water.
That's
so going
right.
into any water is going to cause problems. Or if the hunters win, you might just get this other soldier dude who like shows up and
Gets eaten.
But can totally fight on
But
your
he
side
is
for a while,
helpful, yeah.
and also could be eaten by the monster. They'll tip the balance. They'll show you like. We're putting 1 little handicap point in the hunter's favor, or now we're putting 3 because it's really not going well for them.
You know, these behind-the-scenes fixes, they seem subtle enough where I didn't technically feel them, but, I mean, the matches were a little closer each time.
That's true. And so after the first match, you get to vote on one of 2 choices. Sometimes Hunt will be a choice. Sometimes one of the other 2 modes will be a choice. First up is Nest. On this, there are 6 eggs scattered around. The hunters are trying to destroy the eggs. The monster's trying to protect them until the time limit runs out. The other wrinkle here, the monster can hatch an egg and spawn a mini Goliath minion to help them kill the hunters.
Yeah, the minions are, like, less powerful, they have less health, but nevertheless, they're very aggressive and difficult to deal with and a huge pain in the butt. So it's an interesting tactic for both sides, you see, because unlike Hunt, where you're kind of just trying to duke it out between each other, in this one, you might not even want to fight the monster. You might just be going after egg after egg after egg, whereas, you know, the monster is trying to evolve as fast as possible so he can take out these hunters and protect his little eggs.
Right, because remember, the monster is at a slight disadvantage at the beginning of the match, and then over the course of the match, as the monster evolves and the hunter's abilities stay the same, the balance is tipped. The flip side option is Rescue, another mode that sort of takes those nest rolls and switches them. Now it's the hunters who have to search for survivors, which are incapacitated humans, all throughout the map, and then escort them to evacuation pads. They're trying to get out 5 survivors, the monster's trying to kill 5 survivors.
That's
and
right.
again, there's a time limit.
All these survivors are played by AI, and they can be incredibly frustrating. You can revive them and think that you're totally on your way to winning, and easily they'll get stuck. Something we learned is that if the monster gets close to these survivors, they will go into what we've been calling fear mode or panic mode, and they literally just run the other way. It could be the opposite direction.
They just freak the hell out, which,
the evacuation pad.
to their credit, like, if there's a huge squid monster attacking these people next to me, I want to run away. But so aggravating when you're trying to corral that survivor
Impossible. It's so
to
frustrating.
the pad.
Ironically, though, when you were the monster and I was the hunter, that was one of the ones that we won because we were distracting you enough with our hunters that we were kind of able to just sneak our people by. And even if we kill a few, as long as we get our 5, it's considered a win. So this seems like a nice, interesting take on just the typical 4v1 scenario.
Yeah, it definitely changes the objectives, which changes the pace of the match. And we were even talking about splitting up, dividing and conquering, all these strategies that make absolutely no sense in Hunt. All of a sudden, well, maybe you could find a way to make them work in Nest and Rescue. So, the first matches in Evacuation Mode start off with a Hunt. The next 3 matches are determined by voting. All players get a vote. And then it always ends the same way, with Defend.
You're defending these giant generators and a massive power source. I think you get 3 of them all together. You're bound to lose a few, but the goal is to just hold them off as long as you can because there is a time limit for each of these pieces. What the monster gets? He gets minions. He gets little Goliaths. Every minute or so, he's spawning 2 of these things that are coming at you. So in addition to taking on the monster, you're also taking on these minions, and you're just trying to stop all of them from taking down these generators. You could kill the monster, but the mistake of that is while you're killing the monster, if the minions take out your power generator, you're gonna lose anyway. So it's kind of this give and take between, do I kill the minions? Do I kill the monster? Do we split up? What are we doing?
It's tough for the hunters, but they also have those automatic turrets to help them out. And for the monster, I mean, hunters get to respawn, they get to come in a dropship, and that dropship time is accelerated in Defend. They come back in much more quickly than they do in other modes. So even if you abduct someone away as Wraith or manage to down somebody, the hunters can hold on and try to defend these generators. And now, of course, they're staged, so once one goes down, a door goes down, and it opens the next one. And so, like, rushing to the next one was a really powerful tactic with Wraith because of that warping and also getting in there and just doing your supernova damage.
Speed is huge. It's also important to notice that the monster starts at stage 3, so there is no evolving on this final stage. You're just immediately going into the main battle of defending these giant generators.
So it's the climactic encounter, and at the end, you know, whoever wins, you're gonna see this video of like either the monsters overrunning the hunters or the hunters fending off the monsters and getting everybody out okay. And then that's evacuation. It takes about maybe 45 minutes on the short end, hour and 15 on the longer end, and they really want it to feel like this sort of meaty, strung together experience. Did it strike you that way?
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, those cutscenes were so enjoyable to watch. I loved it. It does kind of give me that feeling like when I used to play Left 4 Dead. It is a nice, enjoyable sequence, and it makes you want to finish it to the end. And that's what they wanted, and I think they succeeded. You won't start it and not finish it. You'll want to go through to the end and see who actually remains victorious, because you can win the first 4 and lose the 5th one, and you lose. And that has happened. It happened to us. So you never know what's going to happen on these. So it's exciting and interesting. I really enjoyed it.